In this series, I'm going from a broke level 1 player to one of the richest in the game while only spending 2 hours a day on the account. So with that being said, welcome to another episode of the 2-hour Rags to Riches. Today's episode is an exciting one because we're going to do our first ever Cayo Perico Heist of the series. In the last episode, I bought the Kasaka submarine and did the initial gather intel mission. Now all we have to do is the setups and the finale. And as you could tell by the title, I'd like this video to serve as a guide for those of you doing it for the first time as well. So let's start up the timer. We only have 2 hours as usual to do everything we want to do in today's video. It is going now. We could start up the Cayo Perico Heist. We've done the gather intel mission. We of course have the Madrazo files as our primary loot and a bunch of secondary loot around the compound. We're gonna have to wait a few minutes to get through all of these little audio bits before we can start up our preps, but this should take about an hour to an hour and a half. So for the heist, there's 5 different ways to approach the island. We're gonna go with the long fin. That's the best way to do it. For equipment, we're only gonna have to do the safe code setup, the fingerprint cloner, and the cutting torch. And then for the weapon loadout, I'm gonna do aggressor. With that being said, let's get into all of this. So let's start up the long fin, and we're going to be given directions to go to a police station. Once again, I'm going to go over here and use the fast travel to take me closer to the city if we're not there already. Alright, we are here at Vespucci Beach, and I did this in the last episode, but for those of you who didn't see that, and I do suggest going to check that out if you are a new player and need help figuring out how to scope out the island initially. From here, we can just call up a dinghy, and we're going to drive over to the Vespucci helipad to get a helicopter. That way we could travel around the map a lot faster. The Vespucci helipad is right here, so that's where we're heading now. Alright, we are arriving here, and one should spawn in perfectly right next to us. So the first thing we have to do is head over to the police station. So now that we're close to the station, they've now told us that we could pick up some cabs nearby, because we're going to have to attach to the Longfin trailer. Now there's 2 different locations. There's going to be this location here that has a single cab, and then another location over here that has 2. These 2 are easier to get because there's no enemies around, but they aren't a phantom wedge, so it's harder to move through the cops and get through traffic that way. Here we'll have a phantom wedge, but there will be some enemies in the way. But the enemies aren't that hard to take out, so I'm going to go for the phantom wedge to make the rest of the mission easier. For this location specifically, all I do is I come down here right behind them. They're just in front of us there. And then I'm going to take out my special carbine, which is by far my best weapon. And from here, I could lock onto the enemies and take them all out. And that there is the 4 enemies. Like I said, really not a lot of trouble. The other thing we're going to need for this setup is any kind of explosive. I have the homing launcher, and that's because it's going to help us get away from the cops. You'll see that here in a second. All right, we've now arrived just outside of the police station. If you've done this multiple times, you'll know exactly where to go, but for those who don't, put a waypoint here on the map. That's where you're going to have to drive the Longfin to, but you have to lose the cops first. So all I do is when I get here, I'm going to back in the Longfin. Good, and even though there's cops here and they're going to shoot at us, just drive right back, attach to the Longfin, and now we could drive away. Good. So as you can see, the Longfins really helped, and now that we're out of the sight of all the cops, all we're going to do is hop out of the Longfin, come over here with my homing launcher, and yeah. And now when we're back, the Longfin is over here, and we have no cops on us. It just makes things a lot easier. And now the last thing to do is to take it to the docks, and the mission is done. And that is the mission done. Very quick. Now we can move on to the next setup. Alright, the next setup to do is the safe code. Okay, we're here. Now we have to go down to the casino garage. Okay, now that we're down here, we're gonna have to search for this yellow lampadati, which is right here. We have to open up the trunk so that we could get the key to get upstairs. All right, we got the key. Now let's go. Take out the 2 guards outside of the penthouse. And now that we're inside, there's 3 places that the head of security can be. The first one, watch out, there's obviously a bunch of enemies in here. The first place is going to be in this room here to my right, which we'll get in a second. You might want to just use a rifle for here. Nobody there. Perfect. First room here. So he's not here. The second we're out of snacks. And now I'm dead. The other location was over at the bar we were just at. The third location is here, which we now know he is. You can see he's got the red arrow above him. Boy. And now that we've taken him out, we could search him for the safe code. For some reason, it glitches out. you'll have to just go to where the bag is on the minimap. And now that we've got the safe code from him, we now have to just escape the casino. When we get out, our helicopter will be gone, so we just have to request our personal vehicle and then go back to the helipad at Vespucci Beach. So in order to finish the prep, all we have to do is lose the cops, which we just did, but I don't want to session warp over to my Kasaka because it can move when that happens, so I'm just going to drive over to the helipad. Alright, I'm here. We can now get into the helicopter and fly back to our Kasaka. Okay, now we're going to start up the fingerprint cloner. So when we get here to the warehouse, we're going to have to go inside. There's going to be 4 security guards, I believe, that we'll have to take out. The easiest way to do this is honestly head inside here. We're going to whip out the homing launcher and just fire off a rocket. It's going to blow us up as well, but it will take out all of the security. Now we could go back in, hack a laptop, and then head to the next location. The laptop will always be here at the back. This hack is very easy as well. Alright, I'm now here at the archive. All I usually do is take out the 2 security cameras here with the shotgun, and now we could head inside. The fingerprint cloner will always be here on one of these back tables. Just run into the general area. It will count it as being picked up, and now we could go back to the Kasaka. Now it's time to do the cutting torch setup. This mission is very straightforward. There's a construction site we have to go to pick up the cutting torch. There'll be tons of guards around, but we can disguise as one of the construction workers. Now there's 3 different locations it could be at. For me in this case, it's going to be one of the harder locations to get to. But of course, I have the helicopter, so it makes it a lot easier. So what I'm going to do is fly all the way up to the top of the building and land the helicopter right here. Perfect. Now in all locations, there will be a spot where you could see a hard hat. If you pick up this hard hat, the guards will not be alerted when you walk in their cones of vision, unless you stay in the cone of vision for a long period of time. And now that we're down here at the construction site, there's going to be multiple different toolboxes that we have to check out, all indicated by that green arrow, and we're gonna have to try to find the one that has a cutting torch as fast as possible. The cutting torch is blue, so it's easy to spot. Now all we have to do is pick it up, get back into the helicopter, and fly back to the Kasaka. Ooh. I did not mean to do that. Because it's dark out, the water got up on me pretty quickly. And that is the heist prep done. Now all we have to do is one final one. Now this one's a bit tricky because there's a few different things that could happen, one of which you want to avoid at all costs. So weapons loadout, choose whichever one you want. I personally go with aggressor because it gives a automatic shotgun and a pistol. So when we start up the mission, there's a few different locations we could get, but if you see, go to Merryweather HQ, load into a new invite-only session. It's so important because the Merryweather mission does take like 10 to 15 minutes to complete. It's a waste of time. The rest of them only take maybe 5 minutes or so. So if you get that, load into a new invite-only, and if you get it again, just keep doing it over and over until you see something other than Merryweather HQ. Perfect. We got the Penrith building this time. Let's get our dinghy, get a helicopter, and fly over to the building. Okay, when you get to the building, you could either enter at the ground floor or on the roof. I always suggest going up here on the roof. It's going to make it a lot easier. On the ground floor, there's a bunch of security. Don't waste your time with them. Now that we're inside, I'm going to take out my weapon. There's going to be guards here, so first one is there. Next one's to the right of us. Third one is over to the right. If you have an assault shotgun, it makes this mission a lot easier, but I don't. Take out those 2 guards. There's going to be 3 here. You could throw a grenade, but it will set the whole office on fire, so I'm just going to take them out here. That should be good enough for the most part. Perfect. And now there's going to be 1 here in the boardroom. And now that that's done, we could head over here and unlock the gun locker. But of course, there will be a hack on the computer we have to do first. There is 1 more security in that room. Don't worry, he never comes out. He'll never bother you. Let's now get this hack completed. We completed the hack, and now we are opening up the gun locker. We could steal the weapons, and from here, we're going to have to take off. Now, if you had your own helicopter, we could take off from the roof, make it really easy. But because our helicopter won't be there, we will still go to the roof, but we won't have as easy of an exit strategy here. So, as you can see, the helicopter is in here. There isn't any parachutes from what I understand. Yeah. So all I'm going to do is I'm actually going to jump down to the ground. Oh, we do have a parachute. Perfect. I didn't even know if we picked one up. And we're going to try to get as far away from those helicopters as possible. From here, I'm now going to call up my personal vehicle, which is the Duke of Death. If you guys don't have a Duke of Death, I highly suggest you getting one. It is an armored vehicle, it is free, and it will be a lifesaver, especially in a mission like this, where they're shooting at us from the helicopters. Now we are for the most part safe, and we could drive back to the helipad, get a helicopter, and get to our Kasaka. Alright, we are here, and they're still on us, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get out if I can, and use my homing launcher to take them out, because they'll likely kill us while trying to get into the helicopter. Of course, ideally, you would have snacks in this scenario so that you could replenish health, but I wasn't smart enough to do that, so I am suffering the consequences. Alright, that is one done. That is number 2, and now I could pick up this helicopter and fly back. They will respawn very quickly though, so try to get out of here as fast as possible. Now we could enter, and we are done. We are done all of these setups. Now it is time for the finale. Now, because it's my first time, I will get the Madrazo files for 1.1 million, which is actually really good because every primary target except for the Madrazo files and the pink diamond have been nerfed. So we got the Madrazo files, and I'm going to get a bunch of first time bonuses, meaning we're going to make tons of money. So because of the setups we did, this is going to be the setup for the finale. The approach vehicle is the long fin. I did have to listen to a bit of audio to be able to choose that. And then we're going to infiltrate through the main dock. For the compound entry point, of course, the only thing we have is the drainage tunnel. The escape point doesn't matter at all. And for time of day, I usually go with daytime because it's easier to see. If you want to try night, feel free to do that. For the weapons, I'm going to put suppressors on my weapons. I know some people say you don't have to, but whatever. Got suppressors on the weapons. Now it's time for the finale. And I run this the exact same way every single time. Now there is a way to get gold, which is the best secondary loot as a solo player, but it does require a glitch. And for this series, I want to stay away from glitches. So today we're going to do it the legit way. So we're entering here at the main dock. All we got to do now is make a left-hand turn, use R1 or the right bumper to make sharp turns in the boat, and we're going to head straight for the airstrip. All right, once we get here, we're going to park the longfin here in the water. Make sure that it does not get up onto the beach or it will despawn, and we're going to make a run for it towards the big hangar because we have to take out a guard in front of it. Okay, so this guard's going to walk over here, stop for a second, take them out with a headshot, and now we could enter the hangar. There are 4 different loot locations in here. If you don't get all of the loot from here, there's another location on the airfield. Luckily for us, we actually have some good secondary loot. We got the Coca-Cola, as we'll call it, and the grass. So that is half of our bag filled up, but I have not checked yet what's up top. So I'm going to do that very quickly, because if there is Coca-Cola, which is the best secondary loot to get, that's what you want to go for. But no, there's only stacks of cash. So there's cash, grass, and Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, like I said, is the highest paying secondary loot. Grass is number 2, and cash is number 3. For solo players, that is. So I didn't fully fill up my loot bag. We have to go get one of these stacks of cash. So I'm actually going to drive the forklift over here. We're going to put it or attach to the crate, lift the crate up, spin around here, and we're going to go all the way up and drive it into the wall here. Bingo. Now from there, we could hop up on the back of it, jump up on the crate, and jump over the wall here and get into this loot location. Okay, $376,000 is the amount of secondary loot I have. Now we're going to go back to the longfin, but first I'll show you guys, just for example, how you could get loot from the secondary location here at the airstrip. So you're going to have to run over here to the wall, jump up on the wall, jump up onto the roof here, and you're going to have to take out the guard that's there. Not only that, but you'll also have to take out this security camera here. Once you do those things, you can then run over here and grab what's inside. So we could have done that, or I could have done that and got grass, which would have made me a little bit more money, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that much. Let's now head back to the Longfin. We now have to go to the drainage tunnel. All right, now that we are here, we could jump out of the Longfin, and as soon as I get into the water, we're gonna put on rebreathers. So for me, it's left on the D-pad. We now have essentially unlimited air while underwater, and we're gonna cut open the drainage tunnel with our cutting torch. Easiest way to do this is just go across the grates 3 times. All right, get the stragglers, and we are good. We could now enter the compound. Okay, now that we're in, there's a very specific route we have to take. So we run there, we're gonna make a left and run through this passageway as fast as possible. Make another left, make a right here over the railing, and we're now gonna wait a second for one of the guards with the red cones to look to the left. We have to get up into the office building to take the primary target. So we're gonna run this way, right past them. They're right next to us. We're getting really close, but they don't hear our footsteps, so we don't have to worry about that. We run up to this flight of stairs, and now we're gonna hide against this wall here and wait for this guard to come down the stairs. Perfect. Now we could run past them and up into the office. In the office, there's going to be cash that we could take from the safe here. Okay, so now our loot bag is at 400 grand, and now we have to do the keypad hack to get into the basement. This one's fairly straightforward. We have a fingerprint on the right that we have to match to on the left. On the left, we have a bunch of panels that each represent a different part of the fingerprint. Once you get them all in order so that it matches a fingerprint, you are done. All right, we are done the fingerprint hack. Now we can get downstairs and get the Madrazo files. Perfect. We cut open the lock, and now we get the code 692482. Bingo. Now we got the files, and our total loot bag is up to 1.5 million. Now all we have to do is escape the compound and get off the island. It's very simple. Once we get up here, we're gonna exit the office, run down here. We're gonna make a right. And now we're going to jump off this balcony here in a second, as soon as the one guard looks away from where we're jumping. We made it, we're in the clear. That red guard where the red cone is looking our way. Now it's cleared, and we could run all the way to the gate. Spam right on your D-pad so that the cutscene commences, and we are done. Now that we're out, all we have to do is take out this guard here. I use a shotgun for him, steal the motorbike, and we're going to drive off of the island. That's going to allow us to escape Cayo Perico. It's not the traditional way to do it, but it's an easy shortcut. Now, when you're driving here, watch out for the trees. They will take you out. They have no mercy. Past this little tree here on the right, and now we've driven off the map. Try to go as far as you possibly can. Once you're here in the water, put on the rebreathers left on the D-pad if you're on PS5. And I'm going to swim out to the furthest mine in the water here. Once I reach the mine here, just to the right of it will be some fish bones or whale bones, and that is when the heist is over. And that is all for the heist. As you can see, it's very straightforward. If you are a new player, I hope this did help you out, and I'm so glad that we got it done, because we could now go and buy another business and work on some more things in today's episode. My boy Trevor's got that dog in him. And that is our first Cayo Perico heist complete. So the potential take was just under 4.8 million, actual take 1.48. Of course, we completed the elite challenge, which is completing it in under 15 minutes. That's the first requirement. 0 hacks failed. And then the third requirement is full loot bags. That will get us 50 grand just on regular mode. On hard mode, that's 100k. But of course, like I said, there's a bunch of first-time bonuses that you will get. We will see those in a second. So we now have 1.53 million in the bank, along with our 150k from the last episode. But as you can see there, so many first-time bonuses that we just went up to 2.23 million. So let's put in our cash into our bank just to see how much money we actually have in total. It should be about 2.4 if my maths are mathing. Yeah, just under 2.4 million. Now that's a perfect number because there is a great business that goes for just about that much. Let's head over to the Dynasty Executive website and we are going to pick it up. It is, of course, an agency. There are 4 different locations, but I'm going to go for the cheapest one at just over $2 million. Wallpaper doesn't matter, highlight doesn't matter. We may try to get the armory later on. I do need to buy an accommodation because it will allow me to set it as a spawn point. And then vehicle workshop, I'm not going to worry about right now. So just under 2.3 million, we are going to pick it up. And that is because the agency allows us to do the Dr. Dre contract, security contracts, and payphone hits, which are so important to have when you have a limited amount of time to play the game each day. So let's head over to the agency, get through all those cutscenes, and maybe we could start up the first few missions of the Dr. Dre contract today. So this here is our brand new agency, and of course, the person running it is Franklin from Story Mode, so great DLC. There's also Dr. Dre, as I mentioned, with the Dr. Dre contract. There's a lot of great content with this business. I'm very excited to get into it on the series. Okay, so the cutscene is over. We can now access our computer here and start up some of these missions. Now, in order to get payphone hits, which are assassination missions, they pay out 85k, take like 5 minutes to do. Very useful. In order to unlock those, we have to do 3 security contracts. And in order to unlock the Dr. Dre contract, which is the best way to make money with the business, it pays out $1 million. We have to do 1 security contract. So either way, we're going to have to do one of these. And today, I'm going to try to get 3 of these done so that we could unlock the payphone hits, as well as get through the first 2 intro missions of the Dr. Dre contract. So I'm going to do vehicle recovery for the first mission. Also, make sure to get snacks for free here at the agency. They're up here at the top floor. So I'm pretty sure I got the worst vehicle recovery possible, but I'm going to do it anyways because I want to get one of these security contracts done. Okay, I've finally arrived here. Wait, I have to locate a stolen animal. I thought this was just another vehicle recovery, but I guess not. And they are all over us already. Alright, we're now in the van, and I guess I just drive out of here and try not to die. Oh, okay, we gotta click a button to get out of here too. No! Okay, I've unlocked the doors. Now we could get into the delivery van, and this is going to be a long drive back if we have to go all the way back to our agency. We essentially have a post-op van with a bunch of mercenaries on us. Yeah, this mission is going to be brutal, and it's uphill. Are you kidding? No, leave me alone, please. Please just leave me alone. You're dumb, bud. Oh no. Oh no. I'm out of actual snacks. I'm out of snacks. That was disrespectful. Dude, who are you? Well, this mission has been a colossal waste of time. I'm never doing that mission again. Okay, because we only have 18 minutes left on the episode today, instead of doing more security contracts, because there is a 5-minute cooldown between them, I'm going to head over and do the junk energy time trial. Now, despite not being able to do the Dr. Dre contract today, I do want to point out that because I completed that first security contract, the Dr. Dre contract is now unlocked. And to start it up, all we have to do is head over to the yellow F on the map. That is going to be the initial intro mission. Alright, here is today's junk energy time trial. I have never done it. Hopefully we could get it on the first try. Oh, Alright, well, not a great start. Okay, oh, jeez, okay. This one's dangerous. Nope. Oh, no. So we gotta bunny hop over the water. Okay, moment of truth. Sick. Okay, we got it that time. I still don't know if I'm even close to making time on this thing, though. How much more do we have to do? Oh, I think we made it. Yes, we did. $52,000 in the bank. That one wasn't as hard as I was expecting. The bunny hop definitely catches you off guard though. I'm now here at the nightclub so that I could collect the money from the wall safe. I also have to do the passive mode glitch to get our popularity back up to full. Alright, $10,000 and popularity back to maxed out. Okay, let's spin the lucky wheel here at the casino. Okay, I was so worried we were going to get clothing again. 2,500 RP, that's fine. Let's head back to our agency because there's one perk of having it that I forgot to mention. And that perk is being able to go to the front desk here and exit via helicopter. They have a free agency Super Valido for you, so when you buy the agency, you actually get a free helicopter with it. I could have used it in the last mission to speed things up, but for every mission here on out, I will make sure to use it. And now we don't have to come to Vespucci helipad every single time we need a helicopter, only when we're doing something like the Cayo Perico Heist. Anyways, we only have a few minutes left, and I did want to get some other security contracts done, but I think that's all for today. In the next episode, we'll get started on the Dr. Dre contract, which will make us over $1 million, which is insane. And from there, we could start our grind towards getting everything that we need in the game. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like. If you're new, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.